everybody. Look where we are.
We decided to move. This out. We decided to move today. We just needed new scenery.
Yeah, change of scenery.
Today, and it might change again tomorrow. We'll see how this goes. As you can still see, it's still empty. There's nobody here.
Still nobody here.
Sadly. Happy Monday. We are live from Rabs. Welcome to Rabs Country Lanes, episode 17.
Lucky 17.
Yeah, 17 days we're doing this.
It's hard to imagine that we would have to do it this long, but we may only be halfway there.
I don't think we anticipated to do this for 17 days in a
row. We certainly didn't anticipate that.
I know. We said we'd do it daily, and so we're going to keep coming to you daily. We'll take a break on Sunday. We'll let it.
We're going to celebrate Easter and have a holy day with our families all separated. But yes.
As long as, and for our Jewish friends celebrating Passover this week as well.
Starting on Wednesday, I believe. Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yeah, this is odd. The bakeries are closing now. Some of the bakeries are going to stick. It seems to be sticking through the holiday. I saw Pasto's is going to close after the holiday.
Yep.
Try to get through it. So make sure you get your goods in at home. And of course, if you baked goods, your grain pie.
That's it.
One of our traditions for Easter, we make the pizza rustica.
Pizza rustica.
It's going to be a little sad not doing that this year.
And not doing it here. You got. I know Tony Ann comes down and takes over, and I guess maybe we're making new traditions, and I guess it's going to be the norm for a little while. Sadly.
Yeah. While I enjoy spending time with my family in my house, and I love them dearly, this is going to get old really fast. There's only we keep talking about it, but the hours of TV. I have to say, we're getting home early. My body really is in shock. Right, cooking dinner. We don't. I'm home late every night. If we're here at the bowling center, or you stop, you grab something to eat. It's different. It's different.
Although it's nice to be home when it's still light out. That's my thing. I do enjoy that. It kind of reminds me of summer when we leave here and we can sit out in the yard and maybe throw the grill on for a little while. So it is nice to be home when it's still light out.
I've been getting that grill used.
I haven't turned mine on.
Go turn it on while you can. It's starting to get really nice today. 60 degrees today almost. It's nice today.
Yeah, it's a nice day.
Be grilling again today.
Maybe I will too. I was going to do a chicken. I was going to do a rotisserie chicken today.
Chicken's on the barbecue for us tonight. The problem is when you take out, you get from Costco the big thing, chicken and chicken thighs, and you don't know what to do. And then you split it up, you make one meal, and then you got to, what am I going to do now? So now we're grilling chicken tonight because we opened the pack and it's out of the freezer. Did you watch anything new last night?
I watched the country music that took the place of the awards that was supposed to be on last night, which was really good. It was you can really see how seeing each of these celebrities in their homes and seeing that it really is affecting everybody. I can't remember another time when so many people were across so many diverse populations have been affected by the same thing. And it's I guess in a way it's uniting, and that was the message of last night. But I also heard something on TV this morning where they said somebody that works on like disaster relief, that normally when they go to do disaster relief, the disaster has passed. So they're actually in a better place to be able to help people. In this particular case, this is an ongoing thing. And it's definitely a different mindset. I don't want to be a downer. And I know we are here to lift your spirits up, because I know we all watch the news way too much, which I have tried to limit in my house. We listen to the governor. We listen to snippets of de Blasio and snippets of the president, but other than that, we're trying to keep it.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Home, I usually catch the briefing in the morning. I get home, it's usually the White House briefing, and that's about it. And then it's dinner time and
Yeah,
TV
and whatever
time.
we're watching. Right.
Yeah.
What did you watch last night? Anything?
We are hooked on Ozark.
Ozark it is, huh?
On
All
Netflix.
right.
If you haven't caught it, we like that stuff. They're talking about money laundering and Mexican cartels and drugs, and it's great. It's really good. And now we finished season 1. We're in the middle of season 2, and you can't stop.
Right.
So now it's another series. The only problem that I have now is after we're going to watch we're going to binge watch all of these shows, and then when we get back to reality, how the hell are we going to watch the new seasons when they come out?
Right.
I have no clue. Not a clue, but we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
So we dubbed Mondays Music Mondays.
Music Monday.
Last week we had our good friend Billy. We had our good friends Kenny Soto and Billy Salvatore and a few of our youth bowlers with us, and Billy sang for us. And today is Music Mondays, and we have our friends, the Rosenbergs, who posted this awesome video. And if you're friends with them or follow them, they're always singing, whether it be together, individually. Steven is constantly clipping some videos, and they're just a great pool of talent. And she's a funny lady too.
And she's funny.
So they're going to join us today. But first, we're bringing to you today the executive director of the Bowling Proprietors Association of America, Frank DeSocio. So Frank DeSocio is with us. Welcome, Frank.
Hi, Frank. Oh, Frank.
Nope. I want you back. Hey, you just got that first. Here he goes.
Yeah, we got to be careful with that music. We got kicked off last week with music.
I started the staff meeting. So we do staff meetings on Zoom because we're kicked out of our offices. So we do that. I play a new song every week. I don't think the staff enjoys it as much as I do.
I think that goes with a lot of things.
Hey, all I'm going to tell you, keep watching Ozark. Oh, it is so good. That show is so good. I was already caught up. I'm in one of those guys that's been waiting 4 months for the season 3. It's really good.
Does the season come out this year, or is it now next year?
No, season 3 just came out 5 days ago. So it's been off for, I don't know, 4 or 5 months. If they do it different on that Netflix, but it's been off for 4. Oh, it is so good. It is. I never watched it until my kids told me to. So I got caught up, was there, and then been waiting for season 3. It's really good. The whole show's good.
I could also understand why you'd like it. We certainly get along there. Where are you? Are you home in Wichita?
Yeah. So Wichita, the offices, they're in a lockdown in Texas and Tarrant County. We're working from home. Of course, we've got a couple people that can't do it, so they go in. So I work from home like all the staff does. So, it's amazing with Zoom, even though it's getting a bad rep right now. We haven't had that trouble. You spend most of the day on the phone. I mean, there's so many proprietors want to know. They just, they're not all connected. And so I was on the phone with a guy from John from Colorado, and he was, man, this business. And I said, you know what? We could be in the boating business because they're never going to give a boat away until next year. So at least we'll get back open and get to take care of our great customers.
So you're home in Wichita. Are you driving your wife crazy? Poor Kathy.
Listen, man, I've got some backup plans for when I get thrown out. So we're on. We just, it's funny you bring that up because I travel, as you well know, 4 days a week anyway. So I've been home for a while, and now we're on lockdown to the 30th. Now we'll come in we have our own offices here, so we'll come in our office, but it's just Kathy and I and a couple other people. So it gets us out of the house, but now we're playing cards every night. So now, and yes, according to Tom Martino and Al Blau, I give them the nightly update. I'm losing to Kathy at gin every night. So, and see where that takes us.
Frank says that because when we travel and we're all together, these guys go off and they'll anywhere. hotel lobbies, somebody's room. They'll just go into a conference room, wherever it might be. There's always a few decks of cards, and then of course there's some money on the line.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I think a whopping $4 or $5 changes hands after 2 hours or something. So, but it's sure fun.
So you have the building is relatively empty, I would imagine, and so we've got all these bowling centers around the country, and so you hear from everybody every day, and I think not everybody realizes. So the Bowling Proprietors Association is our trade association. Frank's the executive director, and they really do a lot for their members and bowling as a whole, and the services provided. And so in a time like this, I can't imagine the phone calls you're receiving, your staff's receiving. I know I've reached out to Amy already. What are you hearing? What's the most commonly asked question?
Well, prior to last Friday, the most common question was, are we really going to be able to get a loan that's forgivable? And I think that now there's problems with that since then, but that's been most of it. I mean, other than there are people like, another guy from Alabama had just gotten his month's delivery of bag in the box for his Pepsi machine, and he wanted to send it back because it was all going to go out of date for sure. So you got to sometimes help that get done. The staff at BPA, they're there to help. Bart has been spending time on trying to develop some new social media things and trying to get everybody to just connect with proprietors. And then you got Amy, who the insurance things that are being asked and questions about insurance. And so you just take calls all day. Which is all right. And most proprietors are all right. They get it. This is not something anybody did. And the government has stepped in a little bit, and we'll weather the storm. And I was talking to Brian Parker today from South Dakota, and he says, hey, bowling people are bulldogs, and we'll just get through this like everybody else does. So, and I feel the same. And our people want to be back in our centers. Our seniors want to bowl. It's their outlet. It's their time to get away. And so I think all that's going to come. But the proprietor side, it's probably slowed down a little bit today. More now today is just following up. We're trying just to call people and say hello, here if you need us. And then I still talk with Chad, who's the USBC. I'm sure you'll have him on here shortly after me sometime, unless you've already had him on. Have you already had him? Yeah, so talk to Chad, try to work out some things, or try to be what I call proactive to what issues could be when everybody does get reopened on the league side and things like that.
So there's we're getting interrupted by somebody in Illinois here. It looks like maybe a building inspector. I don't think this is the right time for people to be inspecting buildings.
He's in your place doing inspecting?
I don't know. It looks like he's trying to get
him on the show. Let's ask him some questions.
Yeah, I already get in trouble without building inspectors.
Maybe they're checking to see if we have people here.
They might be, because we are certainly a non-essential business. So we were forced to close on Monday, March 16th at 8 p.m. according to the state order. So we closed right before then on that evening, and obviously, like everybody else, we're certainly closed. So
I'll tell you guys, those pictures for a guy who was born in New York but gets back there a lot. Those pictures of downtown Manhattan are just unbelievable. They're just unbelievable. I mean, there's just nobody out, nobody. And who would have ever thought that? So
right,
pretty crazy.
We've ever seen that September 11th for a period of time, and not really, because first responders and people were working downtown,
right?
So and a little outside of the downtown area, and then Superstorm Sandy, you couldn't get in. So you had that, but it was a short period of time.
Right.
Here we are, 20-something days later, and still empty. Who's not leaving there? Who's not leaving their properties? So I totally get it. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. There are more people out here. I don't know why. There are more cars on the road this past week than there should be, and that's scary. That's scary too. People just stay home.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get it, and it's. Who knows? Hopefully the 30th, which is what they're saying now, and we can loosen things up a little bit. But I feel sorry for there's states like you go up to North and South Dakota, up in that area. I mean, they just have not had. Now again, they don't have the people, but they're not feeling that same pain. But they're all locked up, and it'll be really curious how they get out of this in the end. So it'll be really curious.
I think that's part of the concern for businesses like ours, is because we are a place where people gather, and that those are the places that I foresee are going to come back the slowest because people congregate here. So
This is,
yeah,
the seniors, the ones I get to talk to, this is their outlet. Taking senior bowlers that aren't golfers or anything else and sticking them in their home for 4 or 5, 6 weeks watching, it's not what they're about. They want to recreate. They want to speak with their friends. They want to share memories. And the sad part is they're ready to get out. They just had enough, and they'll call and you talk to them, but they're ready to go. But you're exactly right. This is where people come together and talk about it. And I'm sure they'll have a lot to talk about the first couple of weeks when they're back, but it's crazy.
They're also the most resilient generation. You think about what they've gone through and where we are today. We have friends that you don't know how to tell their parents, you have to stay home, but I have to go get cheese. No, you don't have to go anywhere. And you shouldn't go anywhere. You're the one that, if anything, stay home.
Right.
So in bowling centers around the country, it was a slow stop, right? The slow pause, state by state, very different. And I think that we still have a couple of states that still aren't forcing people to stay home. I don't believe do we have any centers open at all throughout the country?
I think there's a few municipalities that are open, like with 50 and under. So it doesn't sound like a lot for your center, but if you're a 12-lane center or an 8-lane center in a small town, it's 50 and below, and they're actually still participating. I mean, there's got to be some open and doing some business because we're still doing pretty good volume with our partners at Cisco every day, a little bit of volume with Pepsi. So there's got to be some open doing some business, more than just drive through or carry out stuff. So, but I think it's the more remote.
And just so your boss Amy's watching, and Amy's.
I know, it's lighting up here. I'm going to get yelled at later.
She's going to correct you if you say something wrong, for sure. Kudos to your team, because and that's year round, especially in times like these. I reached out to Amy last week specifically about our Pepsi product. We had a delivery come in, and he couldn't take it back right away. We were going to stay open, but we had no fountain soda going out. And we called, and they wouldn't even take that delivery. And she got on the horn, and we're still working through it. But hey, she's a tough cookie, and put us in contact with the right people.
Yeah, I got to tell you, Frank, I always say, how good your staff is, or the people that we all work together when you're in times like this. Not necessarily when times are great, but when times like this and people need help and people need just some counseling. Sometimes they just want to vent.
Right.
And you got people like we have at BPA. They're just wonderful. They're just wonderful.
Hey, you know what? I might need Amy. Amy's there, and I might need you to help me. The FNY, their concern today is that it's unlawful to operate commercial cooking equipment that generates smoke or grease without a permit for the operation of commercial cooking equipment. We're closed.
What? Now, what about in the state of New York? Is that what you're saying?
New York City. Yeah. The funny part about this is that we were open. Our pizza, our concession was open for the last week. We closed the other day, and for different reasons. Staff, the health and safety of our staff, the people, not as many orders going out. So I'm sure, depending on how long this goes, we'll probably reopen, but maybe not now.
Well, I'll say this. The one thing I've got to tell you, and not changing the subject, but the one thing I thought that was unbelievable is I think the younger people, and you are one of them, are struggling with all this more so than the older people. Even though the virus attacks the older people harder than it attacks the younger people. And I really mean that. Like, I think they just struggle with, God, is this really happening? I think it's tough. And it's, listen, it touches everybody differently, but God, we still got half the restaurants open in Wichita. They're doing carry out or delivery. I had some friends of mine that own drive-through like Taco Bell's, and they're killing them. But it's all drive-through, and they put these little screens up so you don't talk. You're not talking direct. Some are preferring credit cards, won't take cash. So I think it's crazy. It's all over the place.
Yeah, and so as Amy wants me to send that to her.
Yeah, I know. She told me. She told me how much we sold in groceries yesterday in bowling, but I better not say anything because then she'll come back and say we weren't supposed to say that.
Oh no, she put it in the live chat. 75,000.
Oh yeah, 75. Well, perfect. Oh, so listen, I'm not as progressive. So everything on the right's live chat.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Okay. She'll learn how to spell.
So she's talking about. She's talking about I'm assuming Cisco. So we've got bowling centers that are still operating food business.
Yes, and that's what it is. So they're still taking deliveries when they can, even though they've some company hired Cisco to deliver groceries like grocery stores and things like that for a while. So who knows, what all that looks like. It'll be interesting. I think the next 45 days when we open back up, hopefully, this is going to be really interesting.
Well, I think that's the challenge for us, right? So many of us were still in full swing of our bowling league season. And I'm sure that's a lot of what you're hearing. And so full swing, we may not be able to finish the season depending on what state you're in, what the orders are going to be. I would imagine for facilities our size, we're going to be the last ones to be open. So what does that look like? What does that look like nationwide? You have centers that will be able to open. Maybe they'll force them to occupancy. Some of us, to your point, to have 50 people in our building wouldn't be fruitful to open.
Yeah. Well, listen, I think the whole league piece is going to be interesting in the sense that the few I've talked to that I just know that are friends, they want to finish out their league. But if you're a busy center, that's going to encroach in onto the summer. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting that people want to bowl. This is their activity. And so to say that you're just all going to quit, that's usually one person in the league. It's not the league itself who wants to get out and recreate and enjoy themselves.
Yeah, we know and we were dealing with that going in. So going into this, we had a lot of different opinions. We were doing our best to stay open until we were told we couldn't, and that's what happened.
Yeah.
But people made that choice to stay home, and we worked with the leagues to make some decisions to helpful. But it certainly wasn't easy at all.
Yeah, no. And it's tough to tell them you can't come in when you finally close to tell. Even when at our office, when it was time to close, you're going, "Hey guys, everybody work from home." It's like, well, wait a minute, we can't. And the bowlers are no different. They to tell as a proprietor to tell your customer, "Hey, we're locked up for minimum of, well, at that time we thought 10 days or 2 weeks. Now it's April 30th. If we're lucky, I'm believing New York could even be longer. But even though the numbers look better today, so man, it's just crazy.
Commonly asked questions. So when do you think you're going to open? Oh, we don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
We want to be open already. So you talked a little bit about the loans, and you guys, and so BPAA has done a couple of things. Share a little bit about, as a trade association, what we're doing to help our members understand the opportunities and what they could look forward to.
Yeah, so as a proprietor, as a representative of proprietors around the country, we wanted to make sure we were ahead of the loan stuff. Whether it was the idle loan, which is really the disaster loan that's not forgivable, but it can stretch out for a couple of years, or the new one, which is forgivable for 8 weeks. They're going to pretty much hopefully pay your expenses. They just want to get people back to working. And so I see a lot of proprietors starting to do some deep cleaning once those loans come through that are forgivable. Even the SBA, if you had an SBA loan, they're forgiving 6 months interest and principal, which is just unheard of. So that'll also help people to maybe do some things in their centers. And so it's our job as a trader to communicate that to people. And for us, that's a little bit tougher only because the average proprietor opens 28% of their emails. And so they've always preferred to take mail instead of email, but they've done a wonderful job opening. We've had about 4 webinars. We're doing blast emails every week. Just like the one I got today, which was unique, was the CDC announced today that if you've been closed for 7 days, you do not need to wipe everything down before you reopen. And that'll go out in our email this week. So that's one way. And then we also have our people who just calling proprietors to talk to them and trying to call the proprietor. Where Frank Wilkinson's very active as a proprietor, there might be a guy, 50 miles from you that doesn't talk to anybody. He's a member. He just doesn't talk to anybody. And so we're trying to reach out to those folks and say, hey, how can we help? What can we do for you? And they are so grateful just to talk to somebody and visit with somebody. And what are you trying to do? And I always tell people, everybody, I said, hey, if you're struggling on something, call a proprietor. You know one, just call them and talk through it together. There's a couple other groups that are doing weekly phone calls with maybe 20 or 30 proprietors on the call, just talking through bits and pieces of what. And at least now we're talking about what are we going to do in 3 months? What are we going to do in bowling in 3 months to get people to come back in? Should we all offer come in the first game's on us or something? And our marketing firm led by John Harbuck and Strike 10 is working on that as we speak. But we shouldn't forget that. We got to do something when these people come back.
Yeah, I don't think we have a problem with seeing people come back to our bowling centers, right?
Yeah,
I would hope
that.
Yeah. Do you think that in the landscape of the almost 5,000 centers that we have, like 4 and change, a percentage that may not make it? Do we foresee that?
Yeah, I think you're going to have some that just aren't going to make it, and I'm not sure it's going to be because they're going to be just so frustrated with everything. They're just going to say, "I'm done." And I don't see big ones. I mean, I'm talking about a small 8 or 10 laner, 12 lane center. Just says, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm just not. If you talk to the restaurant guys, and I've got some on their national board, they think they're going to lose 20% of the restaurants in America.
Yes, absolutely.
And it's a struggle for them. And so, where we work on decent margins, they work on a very small margin. That's a lot of times profitability is made up by volume, and they're all scared to say what it's going to look like when they open, whenever that is. And so, I'm worried about the restaurant side. But for me, I'm more of an optimist. I think it's an opportunity for all of us to do more in bowling. How do we get out and meet people? But get more people in. We've all gotten better on the restaurant side of our business, I think, and we should use that to our advantage coming out of this.
So how many people do we think we employ throughout our centers? Do we have an idea of what that looks like?
Yeah, that's a funny one. They had called me. We don't really track things like that, but a bunch of people wanted us to get up and start yelling like the airline business. And I said, guys, we're not the airline business. We're not the hotel business. And I felt we had about 200,000 jobs at risk during these issues. We employ probably easily over 800,000 people, probably upwards of 1 million. It's just kind of our business. We have a lot of centers. You get a new family entertainment center, they can employ a couple hundred people. But in turn, then you go to a 12-laner in Patumba, Iowa, and it's mom, dad, the son, and 2 or 3 other people. But we're upwards of 800,000 employed people in bowling.
And you don't really put that in perspective. We look at listen. We've got a lot of employees here, and then I hear others and go. Exactly to your point. The movie theaters at a much smaller scale, which you would think have more. I think that their plan was 150,000 employees they were talking about over the screens. And in the entertainment business, that's something for the amount of people, it's comparable. But when you really look at the landscape of bowling centers, it's a lot of people. It is a lot.
It's probably the sad part for bowling still today, even though we have a wonderful lobbying firm in D.C. that we've had for a long time. Matter of fact, we were just there 8 weeks ago doing some SBA lobbying, and it was wonderful because the winner of the SBA winner of the year was a bowling provider from Kentucky, and was the award winner of how he done business, how well, and that's helped us. But we're somewhat of a misunderstood business in Washington, We just are. We're just misunderstood. Even though the White House has a bowling lane, there's 2 lanes over in the Truman Center. We're just a misunderstood business. And the capital it takes to build a bowling center is so much higher than building almost anything else.
Well, the real estate alone has changed our business tremendously, right? So over the years,
yeah, we still see a lot of that, Frank, where the guy walks up and says, "Hey, you want to sell your building? Oh, and by the way, would you get the bowling equipment out of here before I take over?" Some of these people, yeah, I mean, it's sad because there are markets it's really devastated. Boston, the Boston market, the Miami market, somewhat of California, even though they've come back and rebuilt. It's pretty amazing how many have just sold for real estate value and walked on.
You mentioned the White House bowling lane. Talk a little bit about that project. It's something that the industry and BPA kind of led the effort there, which is really cool.
Yeah, it's probably one of the funnest projects I got to work on at BPAA. We couldn't get it done, and we had met with the previous administration before Trump, and they wanted to do it. We drew it up, but they wanted to pay for it. They didn't want it as a donation from BPAA, and we just tried to tell them, hey, this isn't political. We want you guys to experience the best. And it was a junker. That bowling lane it's so bad. It was just junk. So finally, the new administration came in. We had another meeting, and they said, let's move forward on this. And so we've now done it. It's absolutely magnificent. But here's the weirdest thing. When it was all done, we met with designers and all these people, and we finished. And Barron Trump's a bowler. I mean, the poor kid lives there. Not a lot he can do. He doesn't really want to swim every day, but he's become quite the bowler. And he'll bring in pizza from the White House kitchen and some friends, and they bowl. And one of the cool things our first lady did was to open the bowling lane in the White House. She invited a bunch of the Secret Service members' kids. And so they had a pizza party and had a bunch of them bowling. It was wonderful. But here's the wildest thing as a bowler, and a bowler can relate to this, and even more so you, Frank. They get done. They spend all this money. It's a beautiful bowling center. They keep the wood lane. So yeah. They did not want a synthetic lane. They wanted to keep the history of the White House lane, and so they kept the wood lane. Now, that wood lane doesn't have one nail in it anywhere. And we sanded it, not one nail anywhere, but wanted to keep the wood lane.
Oh, and Nixon administration put it in. Is that right?
Yeah, Nixon put it in. Truman put them in. Truman put 2 lanes in, and it's the misconception of what it all is. Truman put 2 lanes in, but he put those in over at the executive branch, which is still buttoned up tight. You really can't it's tough to get in there. But that's where the executive branch is the Congress and the Senate, and anybody over there can use it from the vice president down. Only the president can use the White House lane, which was put in by Nixon. And Nixon actually had a little, actually kept a bowling league that they all bowled every week. And there was a ladies' league for his wife during the day, and he had a night league. And they would bring in food from the White House kitchen, and they would bowl every week. And he was a pretty good bowler. And there's some great pics of it. Just Google images of Richard Nixon bowling. Pretty cool.
We've shared them.
Yeah.
And of course, the famous is of him over the foul line.
Yes, yes.
Well, I'll tell you, who's got a great, we should somehow get it. We just digitized through the Hall of Fame, the International Bowling Hall of Fame. We just digitized. We have about a minute and a half clip of Nixon bowling. And we just took it from film and digitized it. It's pretty fun. Listen, he knew what he was doing. All you got to do is watch him bowl. You could tell he knew what he was doing.
Or at least that it looked like he did.
Yeah, right.
Well,
So tell us about the BPAA's involvement in the Thanksgiving Day Parade.
that was another one, and maybe Amy will jump on here live because Amy was with us when we went to talk to Macy's, and Amy came along with me. It was her, Amy, and I, and we finally sat down with them, and they have a unique process, and there really is no. They say there's a process, but the one thing about the Macy's Parade, there's only 25 floats, and I forgot how many balloons, and then the rest is, I think there's like 20 some odd marching bands and some other things. And so we wanted to get in, and they pretty much tell you, well, if you get in, we'll tell you what you're going to do. So for bowling people, that's kind of a struggle. It really is. So we went back and forth. They told us we'd know by the end of that year, which was December. It didn't happen. And Amy and I thought we were out. And then got about mid-January, I get the call and we're in. And I would say, hey, you'll be the first to know. And we've reeved up for 3 more years. They're 3-year agreements. They already approach us. We usually don't wait till December. They approach us in January and said, you guys want to be in for the next 3 years? And we are. So it's a wonderful, listen, I grew up, I spent my first 5-6 years of life in New York. So I still, when I was 5 and 6, remember going to the parade with my grandpa and grandma, my dad, mom. But it's such a 3.5 million people. It's a wonderful event. But that's how we got it done. And I thought their floats were really cool, those pins and the ball. And we're still thanking Al Roker for 2 years ago when he was bouncing around in the pins, and it was good. It was good. I want to buy one of those. I want to buy one of those shoes when they're done, but they say they dismantle everything. They don't give away.
And what are you going to do with it? Where are you going to put that?
Take it down. We'll take it down. Put it in the Hall of Fame.
It'll fill up the whole lobby.
Well, that's true. That's true. But that's how we did it. It's so fun. Do you know that there's 10,000 policemen that work that parade? 10,000. That's just incredible. When you think
about the size of the parade. And the cool thing, after all this gets done, not that it gets done, it as dissipates and we get towards the fall, that's going to be probably one of the biggest events, the first big event that people are going to get to look forward to. And hopefully it is a gathering and we're back to some normalcy, but that's awesome. And so for us, I would imagine the impact to have that float at a time where I think you see it once, you see it twice, you see it the third time, okay, but now there's probably more meaning. It's probably more meaningful by the time we get to Thanksgiving.
I could not say it better, Frank. Well, you're just exactly right. And I do think that's when things will start to open up, even more so, as we all know. We can keep talking about it. It's not read to, but I do think coming into the holiday season is when a lot of that's going to open up. And what a better day than to be in the Macy's Day Parade. And maybe some ad units on there this year, telling people to go bowling on TV.
Hey, that's up to you and your team.
Yes, it does.
The great thing at BPAA, so a trade association helps its members in so many different ways. Education opportunities, these big things we're talking about, they're top of mind awareness campaigns. As a member yourself and as our executive director, what is the most valuable tool that BPAA offers?
Well, here's where some people will disagree with me, but I think there's 3-prong of what we do at BPAA. For me, the biggest tool we have is probably the one that's the least used of these 3, and that is the camaraderie with your fellow proprietors, who in turn could be your competition. And I do believe that is the number one thing we offer at BPA. If you're a BPA member and you need help with a machine and you don't have a good mechanic at that time, you can call a friend and he'll send his mechanic over to help you. And those are things we don't utilize enough. I think it's getting better at this time of life because what we're going through. But to me, that's number one. Number 2 is our Smart Buy program, our program where we get to buy products through our BPA membership numbers at Pepsi at discounted prices, at discounted cost to the proprietor. And we have over 100 partners in that space. And that alone will pay for your membership 5 times over. Easy. I mean, we do everything from cleaning your center to buying air conditioning units go on top. And then the third thing I still believe is the awareness campaign we do at BPAA. And what I mean by that is we don't we might be a trade association, but our board of directors and our officers drive us as a business. And so these awareness campaigns that we've been running. So we do we're on Fox and Friends. We're working on a pretty cool one in September if it happens with one of the talk show people, shows a national talk show. We do a NASCAR race a couple times a year. with NASCAR, one at Watkins Glen, one in Richmond. Then, of course, the Macy's Day Parade. All those are awareness campaigns that we don't really ask the proprietor to do anything other than accept that new business when it comes to the door. And the last two national surveys that we've done with bowlers and non-bowlers, it's always been about the same. 87% said they would bowl more often if they just thought about it. And so we've been pushing that. And you're seeing more and more. I was a little freaked out about it, but just last week on the show 9/11, I can't remember what it's on, they went to a bowling center to help some lady who got injured in a machine. But they filmed a good 15 minutes of the segment was filmed in a bowling center. And so that's our job. That's part of our job. But our job is to service our member, to help our members. That's what we're here for. But those are me of the three. And I want to say one more time, I do believe proprietors, dealing with proprietors to help get through tough times or even good times is the secret to what we do. And to me, it's still the best. It's still the best piece. And if you call up a guy who's a BPA member and you say you're one, they open up what they need. They talk about it. We've got friends, Frank, you've got friends. Actually, will give you their financial statements. Say, hey, here's what we do pretty good. Here's what we don't do good. And that only makes us all better. And I've always said, great competition makes us good, makes us better ourselves. I believe that.
Yeah,
unless I'm in Staten Island when there is none.
Oh, Frank. It's funny that you said it earlier too, and I couldn't agree more. We're very lucky the relationships that we get to forge in this business. We've got group chats with different groups of proprietors. I pick up a phone and I would tell you through this time, the conversations and throughout the states, everything is different. We're talking about the loan opportunities, who's been closed, who did this. Did you call Pepsi? Did you call your TV provider? Things that, collectively, we all said, oh, wow. All right. So kudos to the industry for being able to provide that. And I would say locally, I would imagine everybody's market, you have a little bit of it. It's just not the same when you could speak to someone in your own business and not have that sense of competition. It's not about that. Right. We're all in this together.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you know it in your market. We want everybody else to be successful because the more bowling centers that are successful, the more people go bowling. Once the neighborhood bowling center closes, people hang up their shoes.
I agree.
And
I'll tell you what, Frank, it's funny you say that. When I first got into business many years ago, my father-in-law took me out one night on a Friday night and said, come on, we're going to go do some driving around. So we would drive around and go, now your friends, Frank, all these buddies of yours that you're now in the business with, and you know them all because I was a salesman for Brunswick at that time. My father-in-law said to me, they're going to tell you, well, I did car counts on that center last night, and I had 20 more cars than he did, or you're going to hear that a lot. Well, let me tell you what we believe in at our company. I want to drive by that bowling center down the street, and I want cars rolling out of that parking lot, lined up on the street next to it. I want it packed, and we'll just live on the overflow. And he lived by that most of his life. Because, again, if we're all busy, it's a great business. It's a good business. And people are, and again, I still believe bowling, and I did not grow up in bowling, is a wonderful time to spend 2 or 3 hours with a friend, with a group, meet new people, meet diverse people from every walk of life. It's just wonderful. And I even missed bowling my Monday night league this week, the last 4 weeks. So
check that out. You went from not bowling to back to bowling and then actually missing it.
Yes, absolutely.
You have anything for me?
Yeah.
All right. Hey, Frank, we know you're busy. We really appreciate you taking the time with us. You're awesome.
Thank you, Frank. Thank you, guys. I want to say this.
Frank.
I probably got 20 people watching. I said, have you been watching yours? You got a lot of people watching this, Frank. It's really cool what you're doing. Really cool. And don't let it end after we get back open.
No, it won't. And we were talking about in the beginning, this was a project that was something a little bit on the back burner, not as a daily thing, no time for that, but more of a weekly content, talking to our bowlers. So yeah, we're going to continue this. This is something that we want to stay relevant.
I'll win you the media award next year.
Yeah, here we go. Yeah.
Well, thank you guys, and you have a wonderful day and have a great week. Hopefully this all settles down for us.
Give a hug to Kathy.
I will do it. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Bye-bye.
He's awesome. And we're very lucky to have a trade association that does what they do. And for somebody like Frank, who's family in the business and understands the business.
Yeah.
So his wife Kathy runs their bowling center operation. She's probably thankful that he's not always around, but we joke about that. And you know what? He understands it. The staff at BPAA truly go above and beyond to help us. And if it wasn't for them, there's certain programs we wouldn't have access to.
Yeah, they work very hard to help their members, and it's not just bowling centers. They allow pro shops also to be members, and I believe they have other manufacturers who are part of the association too. So they have a full reach out to the industry, which is really good.
And we talk about the direct benefits. There are little things. Music licensing is a big thing for these entertainment centers that you take for granted. But no, BPAA is on the forefront. That's one. Credit card processing, our food partners, our beverage partners at Pepsi, and Amy, we talk about Amy. We laugh like if it wasn't for the job that she does, we wouldn't have all this.
She's great. She is great.
So thank you to Frank. Thank you to BPAA. Hey, next up, it is Music Monday. We talked about, and we've got our friends, the Rosenberg family, who are cooped up at home together, I believe. And so, hi, Tracy.
Hello.
How are you?
Can she hear us?
Can you hear us?
If I'm supposed to be hearing you or seeing you, I'm not.
You don't see or hear us, do you? Let's try that again. Hello?
Hey, we're not hearing you on our end.
Can you see us?
Are you talking?
We're asking if they can see us. They can't hear us. I just shot her a text. Exit and
You can hear us. We're not hearing you.
There you go.
We figured that. Check your phone. Check your phone. Hello, check your phone.
Hey, Frankie, I don't hear you. Are you there?
We're here. We're here. Check your phone. Here, look. You can't. Can you see us? Can you see us? Check your phone.
Great.
We're gonna let's see if we can get them back in here. So the Rosenbergs, friends of Rabs, have been the music family, as I call them, have posted an awesome video this week, and so we wanted them to share what's going on in their house. Tracy would be teaching. She's home with her kids.
Yes.
So I'm sure they're trying to make the best of their time together. So let's see. Let's get them back in here. You know what? While we're waiting for them to zip back, yes, you want to share the meme of the day?
The meme of the day. Yes. My house got TP'd last night. It's now appraised at $875,000.
Well, yeah. I've even seen. Did you see the other meme? I think it was Costco put in the jewelry counter.
Oh yeah, with all the expensive jewelry
and the toilet paper.
Yeah, very funny.
It's true. I did hear somebody, we were texting back and forth and told me they were able to get toilet paper from ShopRite and Costco this week, 2 different deliveries.
Yes.
So we might be getting somewhere.
Things seem to be easing up a little bit. I guess all those people that had bunkered down with all the toilet paper and Lysol and paper towels, they don't need it right now, so it leaves some for the rest of us. But don't overlook your little local convenience store or deli, because I've had no problem getting bread or any essentials from them. So
I think I got to share it. You know what? Tomorrow, there's a kid filmed this video. If I could find it again, he's in his house and he's talking about his mother told him, "Hey, we're short on toilet paper, and you've got to use the napkins until we get some." And they had these little Christmas napkins, little beverage napkins. So he goes into, and whether it's true or not, it was just funny. He goes into their bedroom, into their master bathroom, and behind the door, there's stacks and stacks of toilet paper just for them. Absolutely hilarious. we laugh about it, but it is a little crazy.
Because you have to find humor when you can.
Without a doubt. Oh, it looks like we've got them back. Let's see. Hi.
Hi. What
There they are.
Yay! How's everything?
I'm not sure what happened there.
I'm not either.
Welcome
We got all
back.
three of us.
So, hey, tell us. So, how are the Rosenbergs holding up?
How the Rosenbergs? We're all good.
We're hanging in here.
Here's Steven. Samantha's on the other chair waving, saying thumbs up.
And you would, are you working from home? Are you teaching? How's the distance? You're still working? Still teaching?
Remote teaching.
I was waiting for something funny to come out of your mouth, knowing how that's going.
No, it's going. It's a challenge. It's a challenge, but you know what? The kids are stepping up, and we're trying not to overwhelm them too much. Everybody's dealing with a lot of stuff. Yeah.
I love the animal. I love animal in the background.
Yeah, it's my boy.
So, what does the day look like for the Rosenbergs while you guys are cooped up together?
We actually
Absolute chaos. Please help me.
get out of here. We have something that not a lot of people have, but we're very lucky because we like each other. So we do things like we play games, we drive each other crazy, we make videos, we do all that stuff.
So, what games are we playing?
We've been playing things like Quiplash. Did you ever play that?
No,
Oh, I haven't heard that one.
Enlighten
Oh,
us.
it's on the Nintendo Switch. It's hilarious.
I can't get my hands on a Nintendo Switch. It's absolutely. I haven't.
It's online, though.
Don't have one.
It's online too. I'm sure that Kevin can get you one.
I'm sure we'll reach out to Kevin Bono, or when my nephew's around, I might have to borrow his that I bought for him. But it's funny. I actually looked to see if you can get a console. You can't get your hands on any of them. People they bought them up and they're behind.
Yeah, it's like toilet paper.
We were just talking about that. Are you guys stocked up on toilet paper?
We are stocked up. We're good, thank you. Do you have extra?
Hey, so I reached out because I saw Steven and Samantha you guys are always posting videos, and some of them Steven I think has been fun making fun of everybody, and they're great. Tell us about the video that you posted this week.
Well, it's a tough time for everybody, and there's a thing going around called the Rainbow Project. Have you heard about this one?
Yes.
People are asking people to draw or do something artistic and put a rainbow in their window to show support. And I'm not really that artistic, not in that way, but the Rainbow Connection, I've always loved that song. I've always been a big fan of the Muppets. We're all Disney freaks around here. And that song to me just spoke volumes about getting through what we're all going through right now. And when we did that particular song, I had a friend of mine in mind who unfortunately did not survive the coronavirus. And before she had passed away, we did the video, and it was just like an anthem to tell everybody, we're going to get through this and we're going to be okay on the other side.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And we need more people like you in the world doing that and sharing, especially through music. Hey, we want you to sing for us. I do have a question though. You I'm sure are struggling that you're not making people laugh on a regular basis, like you normally do doing stand up.
Yeah.
How's that going for you?
It's going. We've been toying around with doing a video, a comedy video. It'll probably happen. I don't know when yet, but there's so much going on that there's so much fodder. Especially with politics. I won't get into names and stuff, but there's just so much. There's so many wonderful people who are working on this, and then there are some people who just need to keep their mouths shut. And I think that's the fodder for most comedians at this point in time.
So maybe you should do a comedy hour with Tracy Facebook Live.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Absolutely.
Done.
So you guys have a great message, and hey, it's Music Mondays.
Music Monday.
You need to sing for us and share your special tune.
Music Monday. I like it. I have Steven here on the guitar, and they're gonna do the backups, and we'll do the first verse for you. How's that?
All right, we love it.
All right, Steven. Why are there so many songs about rainbows, and what's on the other side? Rainbows are visions, but only illusions, and rainbows have nothing to hide. So we've been told, and some choose to believe it. I know they're wrong, wait and see. Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me.
La, di, da, di,
You can have to join the Rosenberg trio, make it a quartet.
you guys are awesome. And you made Naz cry.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry, Naz.
No, it's okay. I cried profusely.
Yeah, thank you for that. And
Thank you. That was beautiful.
My pleasure.
enlightening people through music and humor during these times is certainly important. And so really, thank you for sharing it.
Thank you.
You guys are awesome. We're going to share your video so people can see the rest of that. You guys are talented. Keep up the good work.
Thank you so much for inviting us onto the show, Frankie.
Oh, no. Thank you for popping in with us today. And we miss seeing you and hearing you on Sunday mornings. Before we know it, we'll get back to bowling and we'll get to hear your laughter.
Absolutely. I can't wait.
Awesome. All right, you guys stay. Keep washing your hands.
Don't touch your face.
Don't touch your face.
I keep doing it.
And have fun and keep doing what you're doing. Keep on keeping on.
You too.
All right. We'll see you later. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye,
Take care.
Bye, Naz. Bye, Frankie.
What's the matter?
Yeah, that's a very touching song.
It is. It really is. There are a couple of those songs that certainly get you. Over the Rainbow is another one. Somewhere Over the Rainbow kind of has that same same messaging and same theme.
Great movie, by the way. If you have time, you've got time. The movie Judy.
Oh,
with Renee Zellweger, awesome. She was great in that movie. So if you're looking for something to watch, try to catch that. That was great.
And she really immersed herself into that role. Yeah, that's a good one. I forgot about that. We watched that. It's a good. And there's a couple pieces on Judy Garland's life. Yeah. But that one.
It was a very short time frame that they dealt with, but really, really good. And she nailed it. She was very, very good. She was very good.
Check that out. Hey, so we've been asking for you to share your bowling from home video.
Mm-hmm.
Got it?
Continue to share those with us. Hashtag bowl from home. Tag us, shoot it to us. We want to keep sharing those.
We want to see those.
We want to see how you are keeping us active in your homes. Plenty of ways to do it. So there was another way.
Plenty of ways. There's another way to bowl from home.
So whether you got toilet paper and bottles,
whatever it is,
in your living room or in your driveway, you're bowling.
Well, yesterday Stephanie said bowl into some pillows.
Yeah,
she mentioned that you would have, I guess, maybe a long highway and a non-tiled floor, but
yeah, I have some kids that some of our youth bowlers, I probably wouldn't recommend that to you.
Yeah. I
Their
could think of a
parents may
couple.
not appreciate.
Yeah,
it.
definitely not.
But if you got a long, you got a long space, you got an area that you can do it. That'd be great. Or even like into the pillows on the couch, kind of.
Correct.
And it was more about keeping your arms swing, keeping yourself
Yes.
going. Are you bowling at home?
No, I'm sewing right now. I got my new sewing machine yesterday. I am very, very happy. So I'm just sewing along, making my masks.
When was it yesterday when we started or finished? You got the alert that your sewing
Yes,
machine was
they were-
delivered, and you were very excited.
I would like a FedEx driver to explain to me, I have a big porch with area that you could put a package behind, but they insist putting it directly in my walkway where anybody from the street could see it. So I'm curious what the thought process is there.
Are you?
They have to walk up to my door to press the button anyway. I'm not calling anybody out, and I know
maybe your guy watches us.
this is a difficult time, and I appreciate those that are out there and getting these deliveries done. Listen, it was a Sunday, and I got a delivery, and I was amazed that it came, and I was thankful. But I'm not sure about that.
That happens to you often.
Yeah, I'm not the only one.
No,
I'm
you're not.
talking to several people that have told me the same thing. So if there's a reason why, that's fine. Listen, I'm the person that puts drinks in the summertime in a cooler on my porch for the mail person. So
If anybody only saw what happens behind the scenes here, it's great.
I'm gonna take a picture of it.
I love it. That's really nice of you. We're pretty lucky between the Amazon guys and the UPS, FedEx. We've got 2 columns. They stash them. They put them on the side.
Right.
And your porch, your area you've got even more space than I
I have
do.
a nice little area.
Plenty of space
there
there to
for them
drop
to
it and
put it.
hide it.
Yeah.
They left a TV leaning up against the front door one year. Just a TV leaning against. The
There's
I mean,
no-
we're lucky. I mean, nothing's been missing, and
Yeah.
you know,
Can we
right?
not
I probably just jinxed myself. But
to watch it going. Where does Naz live?
yeah.
Wait, I know Nazareth's not. We do get a lot of packages here for us too, though.
Yes.
So certain things we have sent here and make it a little bit easier for us since we're here all day.
It's not
now.
available now.
Not now. That's not really an easy thing. Our mailman, Pete and Ray UPS. They are
Super good to us.
They
And
are
we
awesome.
love them, and they do a really a tough job. It's really thankless. So I mean, we really appreciate them.
and we're lucky because even during this, they're calling our cell phones. They're letting us know they're outside. It was a little bit easier when the pizzeria was open because somebody was
to
here.
get called.
And now I'm still unsure what we should be doing, but we'll figure it out. Hey, it's Monday.
Sorry, my nose.
We've got the rest of the week. It's Holy Week for our good Catholics.
Yes.
We've got a bunch of shows lined up. Tomorrow we're going to be talking business, Staten Island business, and after all this, we need to go out and go somewhere.
Yes.
And most people probably are not going to get on an airplane.
Probably not.
I just don't foresee that in the very near future. But we've got Atlantic City not too far, which I know many of you go to.
Yes.
See your pictures,
Lots of
which I know
people.
we do. So tomorrow we're talking Staten Island business and what's going on with Jacqueline Tacarante from JMT Media. She has been doing a live show each day, talking with different business owners and providing some great tools. And then also we've got Whitney Ullman from Atlantic City. She's the entertainment reporter.
That'll be interesting.
So we're going to talk a little Atlantic City business, something to look forward to. After all this, I can't wait. I'm itching. I was supposed to go to Vegas for Reno for bowling and convention. And
Yeah.
although my casino money is sitting there just collecting dust. And probably
So think of
appreciate
all
it.
the money you're saving by not going.
We did save a few bucks. But we look forward to that. That is
Yes.
our little escape.
No, agreed.
So
Agreed.
Atlantic City is next. Naz, who else we got this week?
On I believe it'll be Wednesday, we have Doug and Chrissy Kent who will be joining us. Another power couple, and hopefully you'll have some questions for them. I know I've got some questions for them.
Yeah, a PGA champion, Doug,
Yeah,
and they own a bowling center up in Newark, New York. And so we got a lot to talk about.
yeah. And then we have Ken Mitchell from the Staten Island Zoo, and somebody told me it's all happening at the zoo. So hopefully he'll fill us in, let us know how the animals are. I want to ask him about these tigers that are supposedly have this coronavirus. I keep reading things on both sides that it's not transmissible, that they have some form of a virus, but it's not coronavirus. So maybe he can answer those questions for us.
You know, good old Ken.
Let him know ahead of time. We'll be asking.
He's great. And to that, check out the Facebook page for the Staten Island Zoo.
Yes.
They're showing us animals. They're going live and keeping us while we can't go there. But so Ken's going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to have to ask about the tigers, lions, and bears.
Oh my.
And we'll also have Pam Silvestri back. So hopefully our feed works for Pam. Pam's going to do her weekly food check-in. And then Saturday.
Another incredible weekend. Another incredible Saturday. We'll be celebrating a big birthday with Bob Learn and Amleto Monticelli. So I'm really looking forward to that one.
That's going to be fun. Celebrate his birthday.
Yeah.
Did he say how old he was?
I'm
sure we could look it up.
Failed to mention that. Everything's on Wikipedia, so we don't need to dig too far to find that.
No. So Mr. 300 and the one and only Amleto Monticelli. That's
Yeah.
Pro Bowler set. So we've got Music Mondays, Food Thursdays, check in with Pam, Pro Bowler Saturday.
Saturdays.
It's really Pro Bowler Hall of Famer Saturday.
Yeah.
We've had some great guests with us
Incredible.
on the weekends. Saturday's show is going to be at noon. Every other day we're here at 2:00. We'll remind you. And yes, hey, I'm going to shout out to Stan. So Stan is asking about Jimmy. So Jimmy's here, working behind us somewhere, and he wants us to get Jimmy on here.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
Michael and I were talking about this earlier, so we're gonna get Jimmy and Michael on with us for a little bit. I'm not sure how they feel about it.
So many people hear about the infamous Jimmy, but haven't really talked or seen him. He might be our biggest guest yet.
He might be. You know what? They went in the back. They were working out here. So
I think that's a great idea.
I mean, they're on the show almost every day when they're here.
Yeah.
Just in the background. And you could see Michael's blue hair somewhere floating. So Stan, thanks for asking. We'll make sure Jimmy. He is the best mechanic for sure. He's the best in the business. And
For a minute.
Michelle Fury D'Esposito, hello to you too.
I'm trying to crush my mother's head back there.
Oh. I have to say, our audience has been great. So, Michelle, hello to you too. We certainly miss you too. We had a nice week round up.
Yeah.
So, thanks for watching. Thanks for joining us every day. Like and share. If you're watching us on YouTube, subscribe, like, share.
All the stuffs.
Thanks
all
to
the things that you do. Please let people know if you're enjoying this part of your day and having fun watching us. Then tell your friends. And if you have any suggestions about anything you might like to see or might like to hear, then please let us know, because that's what we're here for. We're here to fill an hour or half of your day. Oh, wait, we might be. There's been a sighting behind me.
Be careful. I don't know if we're prepared to bring them in now.
No, we're
the end of the
not.
show.
I'm just watching.
How time is up.
That time is up.
So, again, yesterday we talked about we're thinking about some folks.
Absolutely, we are. We lost a mom of one of our team members, and it's sad. And honestly, it's tough to look on Facebook sometimes in the morning because, there hasn't been a morning in the last 3 days where I haven't known somebody who's lost someone. And it's hopefully we are getting to the end of this, and all the projections that they're all talking about now seem to be flattening out a little bit, and hopefully that's what we're getting to. And I certainly hope so. And I hate to lose another Staten Islander, New Yorker, fellow American, and please stay home. Please, if you don't have to be out, and wash your hands and don't touch your face, please.
Social distance.
Social distancing. I still see pictures of people gathered in places that I don't understand, but
And the new signs outside of the store, I think, are more troubling to me. Outside all the stores, you've got these great signs, and they're talking about how to keep 6 feet away, and they're marking the floors. But every day, a new sign is popping up, and I saw one today that's "Keep back, please, stay away." So please, but everybody, you're in our thoughts and prayers, and thanks to continue to watch us. Shout out, hey, Fritz is watching us today. Fritz, we miss you too. We miss hearing, Fritz, the best manager on Staten Island, as he would call Nazareth when he does it. She's the best around. Who are you kidding, Fritz? So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching us. Take care. Wash your hands.
don't touch your face.
Thank you, Frank, Tracy, Samantha, and Steven
Yes,
for joining us
for our
today.
guest today.
Until tomorrow.
That was awesome. That was awesome.
Tomorrow at 2:00. We'll see you then.
Bye-bye.